Not too bad.
I hate the original song too much to enjoy that.
Oh, Vinny, there are songs significantly worse than that one.
No, I don't think there are.
No, you want me to play My Humps again?
I actually think California Girls may have worse lyrics.
I don't listen to the lyrics. You're just supposed to bob your head a little, like that one movie, Night of the Roxbury. Vinny, I've seen you drunk and dancing. You do the same thing.
I love Night of the Roxbury.
All right, let's do Impact here. A tedious show. A show filled with unrepentant tedium. There's a drop for everybody right there.
Immortal came out to open the show, which...
Dressed like geeks. With the exception of Jeff Jarrett. You look like a star.
Jeff had his suit on. Jeff Hardy had his usual black spandex top with neon sleeves and had his face painted like a Smurf. Everyone else had some kind of strange street clothes on. Rob Terry had a blouse straight out of the Dave Bautista fashion selection. And Eric Bischoff, his shirt...
And by the way, he can't get away with it like Dave Bautista can.
Well, no one can get away with things that Dave Bautista can. Bischoff's shirt, the only way I can describe this is it was supposed to look like a plaid flannel without being a plaid flannel. That's the only thing I got for it.
Dorks.
Yes. So Bischoff starts ranting about how he had been creating stars and building brands for the last 15 years.
What a load of bullshit. Which I guess is the idea, but I guess
it's a monumental load of bullshit.
Storyline is it's a load of bullshit that he's created brands and companies for 15 years.
Yeah. So he said that Fortune was only an Immortal in the first place as a favorite of Ric Flair, who still owes me a phone call, he says. So in storyline now, Flair has just disappeared.
For weeks.
Yeah.
A missing persons report should be filed at this point.
He actually, in 2011, called AJ Styles a vanilla midget.
Mm-hmm.
That would amaze me.
An inbred hillbilly vanilla midget.
Yes. He said...
Let me tell everybody what happened here.
Right.
For those of you that have not read Chris Jericho's first book, he talks about a lesson he learned. I forget, it may have been Bulldog Bob Brown or something like that, but he was burying some old guy on the mic, and the old guy came back and said, everyone knows I'm old, and you've just buried me. So if you beat me, you beat an old man, and if I beat you, and I am going to beat you, an old man, a broken down old man just beat you. So what have you done? You've buried yourself. It's exactly what Eric Bischoff... How many fucking years has Eric Bischoff been in this business?
Oh, like close to 30.
He came out here and he buried every
25.
single member of Fortune 6 feet under. He didn't put him over in any conceivable way. Just a complete burial.
Uh-huh.
AJ is an inbred hillbilly vanilla midget. Storm is one beer away from liver failure. Robert Roode is a Canadian devoid of charisma who would never be a star in anyone else's lifetime. And Kazarian is the Clay Aiken of pro wrestling. This is what he said.
Mean?
I have no idea what that means.
I assume
but
it's
the point
bad.
was, buried every single one of them, and of course begs the question, well, why did you hire them, you dumb shit? And now you're going to feud with them? So again, what happens if you beat the inbred hillbilly vanilla midget, the guy who's one beer away from liver failure, the Canadian devoid of charisma, and Clay Aiken? And what happens if they beat you? So, to me, the thing about this show that really struck me more than anything else was the interview that was done later on in the show by Madison Rayne, of all fucking people. The Screecher. Madison Rayne came out and cut a promo on Mickie James, and she also buried her. But she also put her over in doing so. She actually built up Mickie while putting her down to set up their match at the pay-per-view. And granted, it was stupid because Mickie just stood there and took it, which was dumb. But the point was, Madison Rayne had a better grasp of how to do a promo than Eric fucking Bischoff here.
So yes, he called, or Jarrett took the mic. He called Fortune out, said he wanted to talk to them directly. He said that as the founder of TNA, he hired them in the first place. He gave them the opportunities of a lifetime. When he found them, they were flipping burgers and doing landscaping, which is at least in one case true. He says they had disrespected Hulk Hogan. He was running them down one by one, and he got to Storm and said, you were training in my ring in my backyard, and with your first partner who is just as useless as this guy. So indirectly here, he compared Robert Roode to Chris Harris. This caused Robert Roode to freak out. That made me laugh. Robert Roode then cut the best promo of the year. This was awesome. He said that they took the opportunity Jarrett gave them, and they built his company from the ground up. Said they were the heart and soul of TNA wrestling, and he knew it was the truth. He said they watched as TNA brought in overpaid, overhyped, washed-up has-beens. He said they all had opportunity. The one bad line here, he said they all had opportunities to leave and make more money because, TNA's a rinky-dink company and they have to remind us of that over and over again.
Sure.
But they stayed because they believe in wrestling and they believe in this company. He said if Jarrett didn't do something about it, he said if Jarrett didn't like it, he could do something about it. Then called them slapnuts, which made me laugh. And then a brawl broke out. But Rude's promo was fantastic.
I thought Rude's promo was good, and I'll tell you why I didn't think he was fantastic. Remember all those, and I'm not saying that these were all really any good, but there's a point I'm trying to make here. Remember on Raw when guys used to come out and do the boring 20-minute promo?
Yeah.
Well, every time they would do one of these promos, I would recap it, and it would take me about, 10 seconds to recap, and I would always note, it took me 10 seconds to type that, it took him 20 minutes to say it. Okay? They were boring, but when the promo was over, you knew what the point of it was. Because they had like a single point, maybe a couple of them. They took a long time spitting it out, and maybe they repeated it about 10 times. In TNA, these guys have 8 million things that they've got to get out in 30 seconds or a minute. And Robert Roode did a great job getting it all out here. But if you actually listen to the crowd while he's cutting this promo, they're all sitting there practically in silence. Because he's saying so much. He's just going on and on and on and on and on. And the crowd, they don't really even know how to react to all this. So I can't call it a great promo, but I thought Robert Roode did an incredible job delivering a substandard promo. So thumbs up to Robert Roode, thumbs down to the script writing here.
I'm going to blame that on these stupid TNA fans.
You got to listen.
This was a great promo.
You can't do that because earlier when...
I can do whatever I want.
Vince, when Bischoff was out there burying Fortune, the fans were all going nuts chanting, "We want Fortune." And then when Fortune came out, they all went nuts chanting AJ Styles. So something happened that caused them to lose interest in all of this. And that was a guy going on and on forever. Actually, like
he went on for
4 guys.
Perhaps 2 minutes.
I know, but still, it was just too much was said and the people couldn't keep up. That's the problem with the writers, not the people.
Great promo, everyone. Don't listen to him.
I said he did a great job delivering it.
Must you get the last word in?
Okay, well, I'll let you get the last word in. Can you remember everything that he said in that promo?
Well, yes, but I wrote it down.
If you had not written it down.
I remember his... I disagree that he had many different points. He had one key point, which is what they had to... the young guys in TNA, watched as washed-up stars from other promotions came in and wasted time and money, and they were pissed off about it.
Yeah.
That's too much?
Well, that's the key that you should remember. I just felt that they added a lot of other stuff to
Name
it.
one other thing you talked about.
I can't remember anything. That's the point.
Yeah, fuck you.
No, I really can't.
You can't remember anything because you didn't talk about anything else, dude.
Move on. I'm trying to let you move on here.
Okay.
I let you have the last word.
Point is, the brawl broke out. It was 6-on-4 advantage Immortal. So then Angle, Crimson, and Steiner came out to make the save. At that point, it was 7-on-6 advantage good guys. I had to count. I actually took time to go back and count all these people. So the good guys cleared the ring, and that was that. And then we had something that sucked. Winner and Velvet and Angelina all screamed at each other.
Yeah.
Again for 2 minutes. Just non-stop fingernails on chalkboard screeching. Presumably Angelina wanted Velvet and Winner to work together. I don't care. I hate them all. I want them gone. I want them fired. And I believe they're all supposed to be babyfaces.
Going back to the previous segment, what was the point of all of those people running in?
To have a fight.
And can I say it again? Why is Kurt Angle fucking out there?
He's still not been hired.
Fired. He's been fired for months now.
Yes.
Why is he out there? I didn't like this opening segment. We had Bischoff meeting with Hernandez, who's been gone for months in Mexico. And he comes back, and Bischoff says, "You want to be in Immortal?" And Hernandez said, "Yes." The quickest angle in history. No build-up.
No.
There was no tease.
He
There was
said-
no who will he sign with, who will he side with. Nothing.
He said, "We want you to be a big star, and in return, you just have to hurt a few people." Hernandez was cool with this. So they shook hands, and then Hernandez offered a fist bump, and Bischoff recoiled in horror, thinking this giant man was going to punch him. I howled with laughter. That was awesome.
Then we had Matt Hardy and Brother Ray and the Pope against Bully Ray, RVD, and Samoa Joe in a tables match.
There's RVD on the...
That's what I said.
You Bully Ray twice.
RVD and... No.
RVD, Devon, and Joe was the one team.
Oh. I don't give a fuck. Completely random tables match. I don't know why. They announced it against all odds. The Jeff Hardy, Mr. Anderson match is now going to be a ladder match. I don't know why. We had Devon's sons in the front row, and then, I swear to God Almighty, this is what happened. And this is why I just try to forget everything that happened on the show the moment it ends and just move on with my life. Devon's sons are in the front row. And first off, by the way, at the pay-per-view on Sunday, it's Bully Ray against Brother Devon. That's the match on the show on Sunday. And I guess also the Pope against somebody.
Joe.
Pope against Joe. And
they did say this was 3 separate singles matches from the pay-per-view mashed up into one match.
That's right. And Matt Hardy versus RVD. So, instead of getting 3 singles matches on the pay-per-view, you get a giant 6-man here on Impact for free. But anyway, the point is, it's Bully Ray and Devon at the pay-per-view on Sunday. So what do they do in this match? Well, Devon's sons are in the front row, and Bully goes over there and calls them 2 little bastards. So he goes to get back in the ring. They hop the rail. They grab his feet so that he cannot get back into the ring. Devon runs up and gives Bully a tackle, and Devon puts Bully through a table, and they win the match.
Yes.
So, not only on the Go Home show did Devon beat Bully Ray, but Devon's sons also got revenge.
Yes. The story is over right now. It has come full circle and has come to a conclusion. There is no...
outrageously awful booking is the only...
This has to be the worst I've ever seen. Seriously.
It could be the main event. They could have done this.
This is the one I was talking about where I cannot devise a manner in which I could kill interest in the pay-per-view match more. The heel was defeated. The babyfaces got their revenge. The auxiliary babyface characters got their revenge. All was right with the world at the end of this segment. Why should I pay money to see them wrestle again in 3 days?
There's no reason.
Also, this is a nitpick compared to the Bubba Ray Devon stuff at the end of this, but this match was a 6-man with, among others, Samoa Joe and Pope. So, literally 20 seconds...
I don't even remember Pope in this match.
Literally 20 seconds into the... In fact, not even 20 seconds. The heels came out, and then babyfaces came out. Joe immediately chased Pope to the back, and neither of them was seen again.
On the show.
Why not just make any tag match?
There was not even a follow-up on the show. What the hell happened to Joe and the Pope? Nothing. Gone forever. So then they announced that tonight, 3 days before the pay-per-view, they're going to do Mr. Anderson versus Matt Morgan in a championship match.
Yeah.
Why fucking not?
As they explained, tonight we will learn who will face Jeff Hardy in the ladder match at the pay-per-view in 3 days. Mm-hmm. That's their exact words. Mm-hmm. Tonight... we will learn what our main event is in 3 days.
And this is supposed to be one of the big shows, I believe. Karen and Jeff are in the ring with Geeks. Did our usual heel promo, talking about our terrible marriages and dysfunctional families, which was quite rich. And then Kurt came out, and she played the bitchy ex-wife. And Angle wanted to sign the papers for the match on Sunday. And Jarrett did a promo and said, hold on. We're not just going to sign this paper. I've got a stip. He said, if you beat me, you get sole custody of our children. Karen went nuts, not nearly as nuts as one would expect, since Jarrett offered to give sole custody of children to Kurt Angle if he won. And if Kurt happens to lose, then when Karen and Jeff renew their vows, Kurt has to walk Karen down the aisle and give away the bride. Now, that part of the stipulation is pretty damn great. The custody part is retarded. Like,
If any of you listening,
Can you possibly make a stipulation that is more impossible to believe?
yes, I want to hear if any of you out there work in family court, ideally as a judge who has to make this kind of terrible decision. If you were doing a custody case and the father and the stepfather were both claiming they should have sole custody, and they agreed between themselves to settle it in an athletic competition.
You know what
wrestling.
happened? The children would be in an orphanage.
Yes, they would be in foster
Immediately.
care right away. If they were going to play pool or bowling or swim or shoot hoops, and the winner gets the kids, no. It makes me laugh. It does not mean we want to pay money to see them fight. It makes me laugh. We had an 8-woman tag here. Sarita and her cousin Rosita making the usual TNA worthless debut. And Madison and Tara versus Angelina and Velvet and Winter and Mickie James. Rosita's debut was so impressive that within a minute, Taz was referring to her as the new girl. Mm-hmm. All right, here's the finish, as best I can do.
She's like 5 feet tall, or actually, I think she's even smaller
probably
than that.
She was the smallest woman here
She's tiny, even by TNA standards.
by TNA women's standards.
Yeah.
So they had the heat on Angelina. She is crawling for the tag. She's about to tag out when Velvet reaches in and steals the tag from Winter. So Velvet, again, the baby face, I think. She steals the tag. She jumps in the ring. Winter, also a babyface, reaches out and slaps her. Which, by the way, shouldn't that be a tag? But anyway. So now the two babyfaces are bitching at each other. Velvet has just gotten the hot tag, by the way. Rosita then hit her in the back with one forearm. Sarita hit one backbreaker. And then Rosita hit a top rope moonsault to pin her. It sucks to be Velvet Sky.
And she didn't even know how to protect herself on a moonsault.
And she got killed in the moonsault, that too. So, Velvet and Angelina and Winter all go screeching at each other to the back, and thankfully not to be seen again. Mickie then grabs a microphone as the other girls had just gone their way. And Mickie says she is sick of Madison Rayne attacking her from behind.
That's what she said. Madison Rayne did not attack her from behind, leading to her getting pinned.
No.
Madison Rayne, I don't even remember her attacking her from behind at any point during this match.
Madison Rayne attacked... No, I don't think anyone on the show was attacked from behind.
Maybe this was badly edited or something, and they took that part out.
Possible.
But she was sick of Madison attacking her from behind, which did not lead to the finish in any way, and dared her to get into the ring. And Madison got in the ring. They screamed back and forth. She cut the promo. And
now I'm curious here, when you said earlier that she buried Mickie while also building her up. The message I got out of this was that Mickie James is old and washed up, and Madison is young and is going to kick her ass on Sunday, and Mickie slumped her shoulders and acknowledged this, I guess.
It was Mickey's fault. It opened up with Madison talking about how, you're really great, but you're not as great as me. At least she said you're really great.
I see.
Not like Bischoff, who said, you guys all suck, every one of you sucks, and you have no redeeming qualities. Retarded. Completely idiotic. So, yeah, but Mickie did slump her shoulders, and I don't know I don't know what's going on. But yeah, are fucking Velvet and Winter and Angelina having a match on Sunday?
I don't know.
So why was the finish built around them?
I don't know.
And they shouldn't be higher on the goddamn card than the women's champion.
I don't know. None of this makes sense to me. Rude and AJ had a match against Jeff Jarrett and Jeff Hardy in the main event. Angle came in to give them a pep talk. He called Jarrett, and I quote, a piece of scummy.
Yeah.
He said he wanted them to take Jeff out. He was upset that he had to wait to the pay-per-view. Rude stepped up and said that Kurt had done them a favor last week. He was going to do Kurt a favor tonight. He was going to step out of the match and allow Kurt to put himself in. And Kurt was cool with this. So I guess this means Kurt's hired again, by the way.
I don't have any fucking idea. That was not made clear. I thought he was signing a contract for Sunday.
Yeah.
And furthermore, why would he even be rehired anyway? Did I miss a big angle somewhere?
I know.
Did I miss an angle? I remember one where Bischoff said you'll never be hired, so fuck off. So I don't know how we got from that to to Kurt Angle's wrestling all the time.
Well,
now.
I guess Robert Roode has the power to rehire the man.
Let me ask a question again that all of the TNA defenders who get pissed off at me have yet to answer. Would it have been that fucking hard for Dixie Carter to rehire Kurt Angle while she still has this power, whatever power she might have? Is it really that hard to come up with some sort of explanation as to why he's wrestling all the time now?
Mr. Anderson wrestled Matt Morgan in the worst World Heavyweight Championship match in a long-ass time.
God damn, this was horrible.
First of all, I realize Raw does this all the time, too. But they had their World Heavyweight Championship match not only on Impact for free, but not even the main event on Impact. It was the top of the hour match.
Yeah.
So they came out, they started to wrestle. Jeff Hardy was out there. He brought out a ladder to watch the match from this ladder, and he looked bored out of his mind the entire time.
Two clunky geeks grappling with no heel and not a single right foot between them.
Yes.
Stumbling all over the place. The most idiotic ref bump I've seen in a long time.
It started off with dueling chants, and by the end there was just silence. So, yes, the ref bump was Morgan was on the apron. He snapped Anderson's neck in the ropes. Anderson theoretically flew backwards with such force that he knocked Earl Hebner into Dreamland. Knocked him into the land of Nod, unconscious. It did not look that way. In fact, it looked fake. It looked like fourth graders playing on the playground. So, with the referee out, Hernandez made his big in-ring return. He started destroying Matt Morgan. Now, again, you've got two babyfaces in the ring. Jeff Hardy on the ladder, who may as well be a babyface, and Hernandez, who was a babyface last time we saw him. So
yeah, remember Matt Morgan killed him?
He kicked his head.
And so now he's getting his revenge as a heel.
Yes. So he laid into Morgan, and all four of these guys may as well have been babyfaces, and so there was no heat for this attack, other than about 5 girls in the front row who merely politely applauded. That was their reaction. So he beat up he beat up Morgan, and he threw him in the ring, and then Anderson pinned him. And Tenay was screaming, "No, not like this." It sucked. So then Hernandez got in the ring he killed Anderson as well, so I guess he really is an immortal, and he is a heel now. And Jeff laid out Anderson with a senton, so we finally know, with 1 hour of television time left before the pay-per-view, what the main event is going to be.
Oh, my God. Then...
This company has no idea what they're doing.
Then, Bully Ray did a promo backstage. Bully Ray, the dastardly heel Bully Ray, is seeking revenge at the pay-per-view. Yes. Bully Ray is seeking revenge on the babyfaces at the pay-per-view. Uh-huh.
Are you going to leave it at that or say
That's all I need to say. Is there anything more that needs to be said?
Actually, yes.
What is that?
He is seeking revenge of the pay-per-view, and he is doing so by challenging the entire Devon family by himself. The heel is courageously stepping up and calling out 3 men at once.
Yeah. Is it... His name is Bully. They don't even know what a goddamn bully is?
Yes.
You'd think Russo, of all people, would know. I'm sure he was bullied all through high school,
not
for
enough,
Christ's
obviously.
sake.
But yes, he's courageously defying the odds. Gonna fight an army by himself. Boo him.
Boo this man.
Boo this man. Oh, God. So
actually, Russo may have had like 2 geeky friends in high school, and there was a bully that just repeatedly beat them up. It's very possible.
So we had so you think he is envisioning himself as Devon family?
No, he's in. Well, let me think about this. How would this work? I guess the heel. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, he's Devon.
All right.
He's Devon and his 2 sons.
All right.
Facing one bully.
Gonna get their revenge. 3-way match: Brian Kendrick versus Robbie E versus Suicide. So Suicide makes his return to Impact for the first time in many, many months. Perhaps the actual calendar year, I don't know. But it's certainly been a long-ass time. Multiple X Division champions. The guy has a record in TNA. And his music plays, and he does a zipline deal. And Mike Tenay says, in this exact tone, the very special entrance of Suicide. Couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Not a big deal. Did not ask where this man came from, where he had been, was not excited to see him back. He's just another guy on Impact. So they had their match. It was fine. Robbie E, by the way, had the most awesome New Jersey blowout hairdo ever. That's important to note. So they had their match. It was fine.
I liked how Robbie E said he was on the first stage of his journey to become a 2-time X Division champ. He's already been the champ.
Yeah.
I almost completely blocked that out of my mind.
I assume all short men in TNA have 3 or 4 X Division reigns at this point. So, Cookie distracted Suicide. He laid out Kendrick. Then he got distracted by Cookie, and that let Robbie E attack him and steal the pin. Because this is a 3-way, so that has to be the finish. Someone must steal the pin.
Of course.
You can't just have him lay out 2 dudes and look cool. No. Has to steal the pin. So the match of the pay-per-view is the Generation Me Geeks and Robbie E against each other in a 3-way. 3 heels against each other in a 3-way. And the winner of that gets to fight Frankie Kazarian for the X title at some undetermined point.
Inky Inc did a promo, and all I want to say about this is, shockingly, Shannon Moore appears to be by far the most level-headed member of the North Carolina crew.
Oh, God, yes.
Think about that.
It is amazing. That is true.
Yeah.
The message they were trying to send out here was that they stood for all those who felt they did not fit in with the rest of society. That's a fine message for a team to say. The problem was they actually used the phrase, "We don't stand for 99% of people." When you put it that way, it sounds like you at home probably don't identify with us. So don't try. But whatever.
They plugged the
I'm
pay-per-view.
overthinking it.
They plugged the pay-per-view, and among the matches, swear to God, Beer Money and Scott Steiner against Rob, Terry, Gunner, and Murphy. Let me just say that one more time in case I caught you off guard. Beer Money and Scott Steiner against Rob, Terry, Gunner, and Murphy. Also, Brother Ray is a heel seeking revenge on Devon and his family, the Babyfaces. RVD and Matt Hardy in a rematch of a match we saw about 2 weeks ago that fucking was horrible. And the completely random Anderson-Jeff Hardy ladder match, and more.
And more. Then we had the main event. Kurt Angle, AJ Styles versus Jeff Jarrett and Jeff Hardy. It was fine. It was actually pretty good in spots. Jarrett was, of course, a coward and refused to get in the ring with Angle. I shouldn't say of course. I should say shockingly. TNA got something right.
Well, until the end.
Until the end. Well, even then, when he got in there when Angle was already down. When Jeff Hardy had Angle down, then Jeff Jarrett was willing to get in the ring and beat him up more. I was fine with that. And then when Kurt did fire up and he got some offense in there, at least he caught Jarrett off guard. It's not like Jeff valiantly stood there against Kurt Angle and went toe-to-toe with him. He tried to run away, then he tried to take some cheap shots, and then he could not avoid being beaten up. I was fine with that stuff.
That's all fine, but the point of this is, the end of the match, they broke down into a 4-way.
Oh, well, there was the post-match.
Angle.
That is true.
Went for the Angle, not the post-match, the fucking finish, dude. They're going back and forth, and Jeff is trying to keep Kurt from getting back into the ring. Kurt's on the outside reaching in, and I don't know what Jeff's doing, but he's preventing him from getting in. And suddenly, AJ Styles does a springboard high cross and pins Jeff Jarrett clean.
Well, yes.
The fuck sense did that make?
No.
You know the hottest feud in this company is right now?
Kurt and Jarrett?
Jeff is the hottest heel on the show, based on ratings patterns and the fact that there are more viewers per home now than there have been in a long time, because wives have gotten into the show because of this Jarrett Angle Karen storyline. So they take who is the hottest heel on the show in his feud with Kurt, and they beat him in the main event by AJ fucking Styles. But the only finish I can think that would be worse is if Kurt would have pinned Jarrett, which I'm actually shocked they didn't do.
Is AJ even on the pay-per-view?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
Why did Jeff Jarrett not pin Kurt?
Because they're stupid.
I mean, hello? AJ Styles pinned Jeff Jarrett on the Go Home show for the fucking pay-per-view.
Yes.
I cannot even conceive of that in my mind.
That's what happened.
That's what they did. And then, of course, Jarrett laid both guys out, but didn't matter because he got pinned by a high cross from someone not even in the match Sunday. Looked like a dork. And then heels laid out the baby faces, and various factions ran in, and we had our Against All Odds Go Home show, Battle Royal, or whatever the fuck this was. RVD was there in a t-shirt, totally doesn't care. And heels got the heat again, and then Mr. Anderson ran down and single-handedly beat up all the heels. And let me just read that one more time. All the factions ran in and had a battle royal, and RVD beat up Gunnar Murphy and setting up a match about 15 matches down from the top of the card. And then the heels got the heat again. And then Mr. Anderson ran down and beat up all the heels. And the show ended. What in the hell does that have to do with the pay-per-view on Sunday?
Well, nothing.
What does anything that just happened have to do with anything except RVD in a match with Gunnar and Murphy on Sunday that not a single fucking person on the earth could care enough about to actually pay for?
I don't know. I don't know. The only thing I can say is that, and this really doesn't make it any better, you're slightly exaggerating what Anderson did. He hit one mic check on Rob Terry, and then everyone else ran away. Now, again, that's not necessarily better than having him beat them all up, and it does not make me want to see the show anymore. So I don't know. This was a god-awful go-home show.
This show was
Did they build
rotten.
any match?
This show was rotten. You hear me? Tedious and rotten.
Yeah, TDS is giving it too much credit, really. Looking back over it, this is fucking awful.
I don't get it anymore. I never got it, but...
I think the contract signing with Kurt and Jeff may have been a positive segment.
Yeah, until Jeff got pinned in the main event by AJ Styles.
But just looking back over the show, asking myself, did they do anything to build to the show? And that one, the best I can do is the one where custody is on the line.
Or Brother Ray seeking revenge on Devon and his family.
That's a thumbs down.
Holy Christ. This is the point where I heave a great sigh and I throw my headphones over there and I upload it and record it, and then I stop thinking about this show and I try to forget everything that I just saw. So let me play a song so that I can expedite that process.